Hey guys, this is Delwin, and today we are going to talk about the new Era of Chaos functionality called Museum. And I'm doing this video because I got a lot of questions about it. I know it is a big functionality, let's call it, looks a lot more intimidating than in my opinion it is. So for this particular reason, because I already feel like I have a pretty good grasp upon it, I just want to share with you what's the new features here, why is this important for you, and what you should focus on in developing your museum, of course. So let's jump directly into the game, and where we used to have the roster building, probably you guys already noticed, now it's called museum, but it's the exact same model we have here in the town. So clicking on it opens the museum, and we can already see the new shiny and awesome interface here. I really like the way it actually looks. And yeah, suddenly we see a lot of functionalities here. We see like 5 different sections plus some missions. So yeah, what are we going to do with all this? So let's just take them one by one. The rosters are the rosters, right? This is what we used to have before. You just access the roster system. Now this way, we talked already about the rarity rosters in the previous video. So this is it. So nothing else changes from the museum perspective other than being an access to the roster system. Next, we have the unit register and the exclusive armory, and I actually want to talk about these two first. The unit register is basically a collector, let's call it, functionality, right? So if you go here at first glance, you're just going to see a couple, well, you're going to see your units. They look very nice. They look very shiny. They are here. Okay, what's up with this? Well, the idea is not just to have a pretty look at your units, but it's also to get some benefits from this. And if I'm gonna click here on information, already we see that our unit collection gives us some bonuses in terms of attack and HP. And this is already very similar to rosters, and let's see if I click on different ones. No. So this is the global buff, right? And I'm getting this global buff from absolutely all the units I'm owning. It's a cool feature in my opinion. I know people who love collecting things. Of course, we know, yes, SSR units are not that easy to collect. UR units, of course, are also expensive and only available via the Covenant events, but even so, I think it's a cool feature. So you collect units and you get some small buff, but not a super significant buff, right? So 43.1% and 38%, honestly, it's not that big. But again, it's something you're getting out of this. The second thing here that's important is the collection value. And the collection value is split per each faction. So each faction has a specific collection value. So if I go to Rampart, for example, I only have 4,250. If I go to Cove, this is gonna be horrendous. It's only, yeah, 1,750. So, okay, what's up with this collection value? The collection value basically tries to track what units you have collected, but also how much have you upgraded them in terms of stars. So the collection value doesn't care about unit skills, doesn't care about talent, doesn't care about level, doesn't care about any of this, right? It's about collecting units. But it does care if you awaken your unit, or if you add awakening stars to it, or if you add regular stars to it. Okay, so if you want to improve your collection value, and we will get back to this a bit later, you can star up your units, awaken them, and star up their awakening. And of course, collect them. I mean, this is the starting point, but yeah. So, and this is important because the bigger your collection value, you will see the bigger this buff is. I mean, again, it's not a significant buff, it's not a big buff, but hey, every bonus helps. So I think this is important that you are aware of. Okay, so unit register keeps track of what units you're collecting and how much you're starring them up. Next, we also have the battle records here, which is sort of related, though in my opinion it's a bit of a pompous, let's call it, functionality. It sounds much more complicated and has a lot of lore around it, and honestly doesn't really do that much. We also see here a plus collection value. We will get back to this. Basically, the idea of these battle records or groups, or yeah, they are called battle records, is that you just have to collect specific triplets or quadruplets or pairs of units. Depends, honestly, on the um, battery record, because for some of them, you see, like for the conflicts power, I need all the four elementals. And the idea is that you unlock all these units. This doesn't care about stars, awakenings, whatever. You just have to recruit the unit itself. And then once you have all four of them, or three of them, or two of them, whatever it requests, then you can unlock, let's say, this battle record. And you might ask, okay, what does this unlocking do? It doesn't add any special benefits. We will talk a bit later about the quest and the museum level. But for the time being, this is just to, yeah, unlock these battle records and get some battle record collection value. Um, yeah, and the idea is that if you don't have something, you will see it in the interface. Like, for example, I don't have Ragnar Archer here. Once I will have it, I can click on the portrait here and unlock this, and I will get a plus 800 collection value battle record. Yoo-hoo! Yeah. This is relevant, but we'll get back to it in a bit. Okay, next we have the exclusive armory, and the exclusive armory is keeping track of how much you star your weapons. I'm gonna have a video later on about weapons, but the idea here is that you need to add stars, activate or awaken the way the game refers to the weapon, and then start it up. And as you do this, you're gonna start getting a score. And if you look here, oh, again, we get a buff for this. Again, it's a very insignificant buff, but every point counts. And of course, you're also getting this score, which in my opinion is very similar to the collection value. Okay, I'm not sure why they called it score in a place, collection value for something else, but for all intents and purposes, the collection value of the unit is the same with the score of the exclusive weapons or exclusive armory. Yeah. I'm not even sure why they called it then exclusive and not weapons, but I suppose it's another translation thing. Okay, so yeah, the idea is that whenever you collect, you activate the weapon or you rank it up, you will see here that you have something like a small arrow. You can click on it, and then that bonus gets added up into the armory. So you have to do this manually, and oh, you also have to do this with the unit register. So if I awaken, for example, this week the nightmare, once it's awakened, I'm gonna get here a grid arrow. I can click on it, and it collection value from the awakening gets added into the roster. So this doesn't happen automatically, just to give you that feeling of yeah, progression into your unit collection and getting to see it in action, yeah, by yourself rather than just happening magically behind the scenes. Okay, so this is about the unit register and the exclusive armory. They are collector features, and yeah, for now, so at this point, we just know that we are getting some global bonus in attack and HP, and also some collector or collection value or score that we don't really know what it does. Okay, so the next step would be to talk a bit about the museum level and the missions. So if we go to the museum level, you will see here that on the left side, we have something called power. In my opinion, this power is very weird. It looks very small compared to all the bonuses we are getting from the museum. And a set of bonuses that we are getting depending on the museum level. And I will leave a link below to the wiki page, but if you go to the wiki page, you will also find information about museum bonuses up to level 10. At this moment, I am unaware how high this goes. I know many people have gotten to level 8 or 9, but it is unclear at this point where all this madness ends, right? So basically, whenever you upgrade your level, you will get some global buffs that will benefit all your units. And this is really cool because these buffs are not just your regular attack HP. Some of them are actually really cool, like unit damage reduction, or tenacity, or critical hit, which is wonderful to have finally another source of good critical hit on your unit. And if you look at the stats, you will see they are quite symmetric. So I'm getting tenacity and critical hit, which kind of cancel each other. So if at first glance this looks like an amazing feature because you get, I don't know, some huge advantage compared to your opponents, all your horses, it's not simple because in the end, these stats seem to be yeah, canceling each other out. So in the end, if everyone is at the same museum level, I think they are kind of on an even ground. Of course, if you have effects that amplify your critical hit based on a unit's existing critical hit, of course they're gonna benefit from that. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, PvE is yeah, going to benefit heavily from this. So you want to upgrade your museum level, right? This is cool. I mean, everybody's gonna do it. You don't want to be left behind in terms of buffs, so you will of course want to benefit from this. One comment that I've frequently heard was that whales will benefit a lot from this. I think honestly it depends on the whales or it depends on the players. I know low spenders who keep collecting units, and while this is not necessarily a very good strategy, hey, from the perspective of the museum, you are getting now something for your Pokemon collection. So yeah, and if you look at this experience, you start needing more and more, by the way. We will see next how you can actually add this experience, since of course these numbers look very like deceitful. They could be very small, very big. We don't know yet because we don't know how you obtain this experience, right? So this is what we're gonna talk about next. Next we have these missions, so these are the quests. And then we also have the old commander quests. I'm not going to talk about these. These are just the regular commander quests. The cool part is now that even if the commander covenant event ends, you can still obtain all the nice benefits from it other than the exclusive frame. So you can get the super avatar basically and skin from here for the 6 star. You also get all the goodies associated with starring it up or improving talent, especially, which right now I'm still struggling with Ice Demon. And all the other perks that basically you get from working on your UR unit. So this is a cool addition, but it's definitely not something new, so we are not going to focus on it. So what's with this collection? These are the actual quests. Okay, so we talked about these quests on and on. What with the quest? So the idea is that you want to complete quests in order to upgrade your museum level. To upgrade quests, you need to improve, we will see, your collection value and armory value and battle groups and everything we already talked about. So all these features that we have in the museum add up to completing quests, add up to gaining a special currency for upgrading, which is the star ore. But honestly, all it does is it adds up to experience here, and then eventually you upgrade your museum level. This is why I'm saying it's not that complicated. Okay, but let's look a bit at the actual quest. So we have 4 categories of quest. We have exclusive collection, which refers to your armory. Battle record collection, which refers to the battle records that I showed you, with the units that you have to collect specific units and then you unlock battle records. An aptitude collection and a faction collection, both which are related to the unit collection itself. And let's take them one at a time. So for the exclusive collection, you will see that absolutely all quests here, with no exception, just with different threshold values, demand a total collection value. Okay, so obviously to unlock these, you just need to start ranking up, awakening and ranking up your weapons. So that's all you do. You collect weapons, you upgrade them, you unlock these quests, you also get a couple of diamonds to boot. Probably you guys already went through this, you got all your diamonds that you could from your existing collection when this got released. I think this is fantastic, also for free to play players. These diamonds add up for sure. But yeah, this is going to take a while since the exclusive collection, the whole exclusive weapon functionality is new. So yeah, don't rush it. Don't think that this is something that's going to happen very fast. This is going to happen, I think, more organically, naturally as you upgrade your weapons. Um, then we have the battle record collection, and for the battle record collection, you just have to activate them, right? So you activate the battle record, you finish a quest here, you get a bit of XP and a few diamonds. A cool thing, if you are done with all the quests, and for the battle record collection, it's probably the easiest. Once you are done with all the quests, you also get an extra 1000 diamonds to boot. which is, I think, awesome. I mean, again, they are giving free stuff. I know 1,000 diamond doesn't sound like a lot, but they add up. They add up, right? So, and then we have the aptitude collection and the faction collection. Now, both of these, as I mentioned, are related to units. Okay, so we already established that you start up your units, well, collect units, start them up, awaken them, start up their awakening. And then you upgrade your collection values. Now, this is split between faction and aptitude, and we saw that the unit register is split per faction. So we have faction quests for each individual faction that say, hey, bring me this faction's collection value to a specific threshold, and then you complete quests. And these get to some very ridiculous values, which currently are bonkers if I'm looking at them. I mean, we start with values like 400, 200, whatever, and then we get these huge values. I think I even saw 10,000, but no, 7,000. Oh, okay, 7,000 is not that bad. I was thinking it was much bigger than this. But again, keep in mind, the biggest value that I have is for Castle, that's 6,000 something. But again, I am not necessarily the best player when it comes to focusing on one faction. I like Pokemon collections. I like focusing all over the place. But I know some people who probably already got this, for example, to 7,000. But first of all, the faction needs to have awakened units. Then you need to awaken them, of course, and of course you need to collect them. So if the faction has a lot of SR plus units, for example, you would actually need to purchase them, rank them up, awaken them, and then start their awakening also. And yeah, so for some factions like Castle or Stronghold or Rampart, I think this is going to be much easier to upgrade, and for others like Cove or Dungeon or Tower, it's going to be more complicated. Um, but yeah, I mean, these add up, and we see a lot of star ores, so I can imagine that people can still upgrade for a long while and take advantage of these quests. But the cool side is that as they're going to introduce new units to factions, right? So we are not done with the units. Right now we have RSR, SR Plus, which are basically same with SR here, SSR, and then UR, and we are gonna keep getting more UR units as time will come. So obviously it's going to be possible for everyone to eventually upgrade and get these quests. So I wouldn't rush them. I wouldn't focus on them. I wouldn't make them like a priority. But I would keep this in my mind that, hey, it's worth awakening those lowly R units that I'm not really using. First of all, for the rosters, especially with the rarity rosters, but then also for this museum feature. And then what's cool is that besides the faction, they've also added aptitude collection. So upgrading the same unit doesn't benefit only its collection value for the faction, but also for its rarity. And this is actually cool because you're benefiting twice, basically, from the same unit. So, I mean, what's there not to like about this? More diamonds, more museum level. Sure, I'm game. Right, so I think this is about it for the museum. I know I spoke a lot about it and it sounds like a lot, but if we were to recap now, let's see if we can do this in simple way. So you collect exclusive or weapons for the units and then activate them here in the exclusive armory to get a score. You collect units, rank them up, awaken them, and rank up their awakenings and unlock these upgrades here in the unit register to improve the collection value. You unlock units into the battle record to unlock the battle records themselves, and then you just go here into the missions, you complete quests, you get star ore from the quests, you upgrade the museum level from that, and you benefit by getting some global buffs. Right, and kind of this is all there is about the museum in terms of how all these elements are connected. I left something cool for the end, though I'm pretty sure many of you have already gone through this, and this is the store, or the, well, what do they call it? Treasure store. In my opinion, it's just the museum store, but whatever, let's call it treasure store. So this treasure store is a bit different in the sense that you have four, let's call them tabs. each of them represent a threshold for your museum level. So once your museum level is at level 2, you get this basic store. Then you get this advanced, then you get this expert, and then eventually you also get this, what's it called, this, let's call it ultimate, whatever, level 8. Right, so you need level 2, 4, 6, and 8 to unlock each subsequent store. And I think the cool things about these stores are, of course, skins. I like custom skins and frames as well. I mean, I like collecting stuff, so why not? And every level you will see, so the first level has a skin for a centaur and a basic frame. Then you get a sprite skin, an advanced frame. Then you get an ogre skin, an expert frame, and if you really want, you can also get these SSR unit souls. I think they're not very bad at 8k diamonds, but again, it depends on your account, how useful a random unit pool would be for you. For me it was, so I got it, but yeah, some people might find this less valuable. And then the ultimate one, which is of course super awesome, we get 2 skins, this time hero skins, one for Dragon Mutare and one for Astral himself, and this Dragon Blood Crystal, which honestly getting, I think it was 4,000 Dragon Blood for 8k diamonds, I think is an amazing deal, because that's, I will need to do a bit of math, but this is much better than anything you can get just by pulling into SSR altars or faction altars or whatever. So once you get to level 8, make sure you buy this Dragon Blood Crystal, because this is a very good deal. Yeah, so this is kind of an extra perk, in my opinion, a one-time only. You also have these weekly kind of things, like the gold keys here, the Astro Silver, the Universal Hero tokens, and the Soul Stones. I'm not very convinced as to how good they are. I like the Universal Hero tokens, especially now with Adjutant, because I'm trying to get some units faster to 4-star. Hero, sorry, to 4-star. And yeah, I actually bought the gold key the first week around because I was very close with my counter to 0, and I really wanted to pull that unit. I hate waiting, especially when I have like 5 or 4 more attempts to the SSR, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a good value. But again, it's up to everyone, depending how they value the gold keys. So yeah, this is it about the store, and this is it about the museum itself. Again, if you have any questions, or if I missed something, or if you want me to talk about other topics, please feel free, either leave a comment below or contact me on Discord, and sure, let's talk about it. Okay, thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Bye!